Oh, what is that?
Our podcast.
Well, that sounds wild.
Conservation Calls, an awesome Mohammed bin Zayed Species Conservation Fund initiative.
Yeah, but why are we really making this?
In this month's episode,
deep in the Ecuadorian cloud forest,
saving frogs by day, dodging bugs by night,
it turned out to be the legendary Atelopus mindoensis.
Hip hop, hibbity hop. I said hip hop, hibbity hop.
Hello everyone, or as we say, ahlan wa sahlan. It's your two favorite adventurers, Noor and Mira.
Before we get to today's awesome story, did you know that the Mohammed bin Zayed Species Conservation Fund has made a huge impact by successfully supporting over 3,000 projects across 174 countries, where they have done an amazing job discovering, reintroducing, and protecting over 1,900 species from extinction.
That's so cool. Today's story is truly unique. Are you ready? Let's go meet our explorers.
Hello everyone, my name is Mariam and I'm from the UAE.
Hello everybody, my name is Mayan and I'm from India.
Sabona everyone, I'm Renaz, originally from South Africa.
Hi, my name is Adam and I'm from Egypt.
We are from Repton School, Dubai, and you're listening to Conservation Calls.
Good morning, sunshines. Did anything fun happen over the weekend?
Boring. So much fun.
Mariam, why so much fun?
It feels like summer is here early and it's super hot outside. So we chilled indoors most of the weekend and my mom let me play some video games. I went full retro mode and played Sonic and Donkey Kong. It was a total blast.
I love old school games. My favorite is Super Mario Brothers.
My favorite is Frogger. Has anyone else played it?
Let me Google. Oh wow, it's a super ancient game. It came out in 1981. How do you even know about Frogger? You weren't even born when it came out.
It's actually my dad. He's obsessed with this game. And now I'm totally hooked. You just hop a frog across the street to save all the baby frogs. Sounds easy, right? But trust me, it's super addictive. There's nothing like that rush when you finally make it to the other side and rescue all those little froggies. Maybe it speaks to my inner conservationist.
You, a conservationist? Aren't you still terrified of bed bugs biting you at night? What a combo. Saving frogs by day, dodging bugs by night.
Did you know the real-life frogger is none other than Alejandro Arteaga from Ecuador?
That was a big entrance, but Alejandro who?
Never heard of him in my life. What does he do?
Adam's Frogger game reminded me about this Mohammed bin Zayed Species Conservation Fund supported project about Tyrone.
Hey, I used to call my frog and frogger Tyrone. Hip hop, hibbity hop. I said hip hop, hibbity hop. Tyrone, the friggity frog. I said Tyrone, the friggity frog.
Who is Alejandro and who is Tyrone?
Tyrone is the sole survivor, until recently, of the Mindo Harlequin Toad family. But maybe it would be a good idea to start at the beginning.
2 seconds. Let's go!
Tyrone's colony used to be quite common along the Mindo River in Ecuador, but was feared to be extinct after no more sightings were recorded since 1989.
That's about the same time when your Frogger game went viral, Adam.
How do you know they went extinct? Maybe they're just very good at hide and seek.
No way, Adam! They're not just shy and hiding out, but back in the early 80s, a total disaster hit. An amphibian pandemic called Chytridiomycosis, yeah, try saying that 5 times fast, took out a bunch of toad species, including the Mindo toad. Gina Della Tonia, who's on the advisory board at the Mohammed bin Zayed Species Conservation Fund, breaks it down for us.
Hi, my name is Dr. Gina Della Tonia, and I am the Executive Director of the Amphibian Survival Alliance and a Research Associate at the Smithsonian Tropical Research Institute. And I want to briefly introduce you to one of the most devastating threats facing amphibians around the world today, and that is Chytridiomycosis. This is a disease caused by a fungus called Batrachochytrium dendrobatidis, or BD for short. And this fungus basically infects the skin of amphibians. So as we all know, the skin is an organ that plays a critical role in amphibians, mainly in breathing, gas exchange, absorbing water, regulating essential bodily functions. So when amphibian skin is compromised and infected by the fungus, the animals can no longer function properly, physiologically speaking. And this often leads to death, usually and most commonly by cardiorespiratory arrest. It's considered the single most significant infectious disease ever recorded in terms of biodiversity loss. MBD is currently a significant ongoing threat for at least 600 threatened amphibian species and a future threat for at least 75. So Chytridiomycosis has been also implicated in 9 of the 11 amphibian extinctions recorded since the 1980s. The disease has wiped out entire populations in just a matter of months, particularly in highland regions of Central and South America, Australia, and parts of Africa. And some species have gone extinct before scientists could even study them, just finding a couple of individuals left. So what makes it especially alarming is that it spreads silently. Infected animals can carry the fungus without showing symptoms right away. So this makes it very difficult to detect and contain. So understanding BD is critical if we want to save amphibians, because it's a significant threat to a large proportion of this, mainly 29% of all threatened amphibians. And it's important and worth mentioning that and reminding the public that amphibians are the most threatened group of vertebrates currently living on the planet.
Oh no, that's just awful. We always hear about people driving animals to extinction, but this time it's like Mother Nature went rogue.
Yes, but don't stress. We have good news thanks to Alejandro Arteaga.
Hola, this is Alejandro Arteaga. I am the director of a.k.a. Foundation, an organization in Ecuador which is unique for creating reserves targeting amphibians and reptiles. I am actually at the Harlequin Reserve, deep in the Ecuadorian cloud forest. This is actually the place where in 2019 I first got real into conservation. Before that, I used to be a researcher discovering new species. But what really broke my heart was the fact that even after discovering and describing a species new to science, I went back to the site where I had discovered it years later to find the forest or its habitat completely destroyed. So I felt like all the efforts I had done had been for nothing. That's why I decided to transition full-time into conservation, which is what I am doing right now.
Oh, so Alejandro is an amphibian superhero stepping in to save the day? That's awesome. Spill the tea. We need all the juicy details.
Not so fast. I need a minute to catch my breath.
While Samayan takes a breather, I bet there's something you didn't know.
Last night, I explored the habitat of the Mindo Harlequin Toad, and one of the people I was with actually posed an interesting question. How is the call of the Mindo Harlequin Toad? And my answer was that no one had heard it, or at least there's no recollection of it. So that's an interesting fact, that no single human has ever heard the Mindo Harlequin Toad calling. I think it calls, it has to communicate in some way, but it's still a mystery what it sounds like.
Back to the story. Tell us more.
So, back in August 2019, Alejandro was on this epic expedition team searching for rain frogs in a private reserve. These little guys are super tiny and brown, looking just like fallen leaves. But then, out of nowhere, one of the researchers spotted a bright green speck on a low-hanging leaf.
Wow.
And guess what? It turned out to be the legendary Atelopus mindoensis, a.k.a. the Mindo Toad.
Was that Tyrone?
No, hold up. Patience, please. But wait, it gets real. They found 5 of those little guys,
No way.
which was a total conservation win. Unfortunately, all their attempts to breed the toads outside their natural habitat didn't work out, and sadly, they all ended up dead.
Everybody was down and out, as it seemed like the end of a long road.
As I watched the rain falling over the canopy of the cloud forest here at the Harlequin Reserve, I remember the feeling that inspired me to create a.k.a. Foundation. And it's just to protect this beautiful habitat and all the animals that live here. So after the rediscovery of the Mindo Harlequin Toad in 2019, I decided to devote the remainder of my adult life to protect these and other critically endangered species in Ecuador.
So he assembled a team and...
Let me guess, the A-team. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find them, maybe you can hire the A-team.
Almost exactly like that. Him and his team went back to where they first discovered the 5 individuals and decided to search in smaller rivers, streams, and ponds.
Did they find anything?
Nothing. But after a few days, at 7:30 at night, Gerardo Obando, a park ranger at the Kamai Foundation, spotted something.
Oh wow, was it Tyrone this time?
Exactly. They named him Tyrone in solitary, or Solly Tyrone for short.
They could have given him the title of Sole Survivor because he outplayed, outwitted, and outlasted everybody. Watch Survivor on CBS Network.
Not exactly, Adam, because with the recent grant from the Mohammed bin Zayed Species Conservation Fund through the Kamai Foundation, the team struck gold and found 2 more survivors, named Malki and Tyronosito. But now, the real challenge begins. They have to develop a solid conservation plan to ensure these little guys have the best chance at survival.
We have been moderately successful thanks to the Mohammed bin Zayed Species Conservation Fund because it allowed us to find 2 additional survivors of the Mindo toad. I know that may not sound like much, but consider this. Only 8 survivors of this species have been found in the last 36 years, and only in this special place, so every survivor counts and makes a huge difference for the conservation of the species. Finally, it is not enough just to find the survivors. We actually need to do something concrete to protect them. And this is exactly what we have managed to achieve thanks to the Mohammed bin Zayed Species Conservation Fund. Now there is a reserve, an actual cloud forest reserve, protecting the habitat of the last surviving population of the Mindo toad. That's a huge achievement. Now we can say that at least we have done our part to protect the species in perpetuity.
Oh wow, they're on a serious mission.
Absolutely. It's so refreshing to see them investing in land to create something meaningful for nature, instead of just adding another high-rise apartment block.
What an inspiring story. The resilience of these little amphibians bouncing back from such a devastating pandemic is insane. It took a dedicated group of passionate individuals to go above and beyond, searching everywhere to find them, and now looking to create a safe home for them to grow old.
Exactly. Thank you, everybody. That was fun and informative and deserves the last hurrah or ribbit for Tyrone.
Hip, hip, ribbit, ribbit, ribbit. Tune in for next time. We'll be back with another epic story. A special thanks to the Mohammed bin Zayed Species Conservation Fund for helping us make a more sustainable planet. Thanks for listening. Bye.